Hello, hello, hello. Are we on? Are we live? Can everyone hear us? Are we all good? I think we're good. Ah, now there's sound.
I can just hear Rycover sniffing.
Am I sniffing? God,
You there,
I was
buddy?
told to be
Hello.
quiet. I'm here. Hello,
Oh,
lad.
holy!
What?
Thought the table was going to say.
How are we going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Tech. It is episode 3? Yeah, episode... Oh, I've got episode 23 for you. What the hell?
That's
on the,
fine.
on the
That's
notifications,
not
we've like skipped like
That's
20
fine.
episodes.
It doesn't matter if you change
I
that.
know
Everyone's
now.
already got the
Everyone's got it so far. I really can't do much about that anymore.
Everyone was in a coma for 20 weeks.
Welcome everyone and welcome back to another episode of Talking Tech. It is episode 3 and tonight we have another special guest with us is Rowie, which is the PC419 editor. And we've also got Ricky here as well, all the way from the capital, Canberra.
Capital of Australia that's always forgotten.
How's
Yeah.
everyone's been? How's everyone's weekend been? Any more tech purchases during the week? Let us know in the chat. We'll try and get to them. And we've got a few topics for tonight to get through, so hopefully we should get through them pretty quickly. But absolutely, it's been a fantastic week so far for everyone at this stage. So hopefully we should be able to get. I'll get you back up, mate, so you can actually see.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so get it for all the topics for tonight. Sorry we are late. We had some audio issues because I actually left. Well, it wasn't intentional to leave the mixer at home. We tried to get both audio sources working at the same time and having Ricky on at the same time as well. Much appreciated. Deanie, thank you very much for that tier 1 sub. 27 months in a row. Woo! That's pretty much Talking Tech from day one. Fantastic.
I can see mini recovery in my corner.
I don't know if I can get rid of it, but I'm scared if I get rid of it, we're going to lose you again.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
remember what happened last time? So we might need to keep you there, buddy.
No worries.
JP, 23 months in a row. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all support from everyone here. Yeah, because I did Talking Tech from home last week, I left the stream deck at home. I've pretty much, luckily I brought the PC here, and myself and Rowie have been effing around with the camera settings and lighting here. We've got the biggest fucking dish in the world.
It's actually like a meter and a half. No,
It's at least a meter and a bit.
meter and a half wide. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Big boy.
Yeah. It's a big boy. Yeah. So how's everyone been in the chat? I'm just gonna go through some of the comments. Screamers, how you going, buddy? JP subscribe for one, recover, then mini recover. Yeah, I know, mate. I'm scared to get rid of him. You could be born sexual strong. Screamers, oh my god, that guy, you can't. No, we can never at Rowie. He hates it. Yes, Rowie is here. What else we got? That's about it, really. Apart from the subbies. And who redeemed a highlight? Oh, Dana did. A surprise for you. Thank you, Danny. Do we actually get anything out of those things?
Out of what?
Those redeemed things? Like
No.
those.
No.
Like
No,
what,
they're just-
I have no idea what the hell they are.
It's just a bit of fun.
I think I spent about like, I think, you know what? I spent 10,000 or 10,000 of those points with Sam to do 10 push-ups.
It doesn't seem worth it having to spend that much time in his channel.
Hey, Cupcake, how you going, buddy? Doing well. They are for us, Lee, yeah. Keep lurking away. Keep watching. So we'll go through some of the topics for tonight. I should go through the actual things here. So what we'll do, we'll start off with, as we always do, with our sponsors who actually support PC419, Talking Tech for the show itself. So we've got Cooler Master with a vast range of keyboards, mice, and cases and power supplies, even liquid cooling. Cooler Master have you covered. Head over to coolermaster.com and check out all your next hardware needs. And also, too, we've got Blue Designs for tonight. Blue Designs have sponsored with a Blue Yeti X. This quality mic is fantastic. You can hear more info with bluedesigns.com, and they can be purchased from various stores within Australia itself. So go out and check out the Yeti X for yourself. We also got the straw poll for tonight. So the straw poll is, which I'll bring it up in the next window here, doing like 10 things at once.
I can't see that yet.
Not yet, no. Bang. Okay, so you can actually watch the stream live from the PC419 website as it is here. It is muted, unfortunately. Well, it is. What happened to a straw poll?
I think you broke the straw poll.
I think I broke it.
May have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh no!
Puns.
What happened to it? I don't even know how to get to it.
Dead.
Ah. Well, the straw poll was actually a question about upgrading. Was it upgrading your PC for the week?
So it's a great question this week. It was, what will your next big upgrade to your PC setup to play next-gen games be in 2020?
I'm actually going to grab that again. I've got to, see why that isn't working at all.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? Give me a second. I'll actually be able to fix that. In the meantime, what we might do is we might jump into the, first topic for tonight. Will I try and fix that up? Yep.
No worries.
So I'll grab that here, and if you guys want to have a bit of a chat about that, so the GSMA cancels the MWC 2020 following the exhibitor. Is it Exodus?
Yeah, Exodus. Yeah.
Exodus with the C virus. We can't say the actual full word because apparently YouTube demonetized the video once I upload it. So we'll be calling it the C virus, and there's been obviously been some controversial shit about it, but what's the audio? Is the audio is the audio an issue? Is there a problem?
What's wrong with the audio?
Yeah, I don't know. Have a look at the chat. Well, I'm actually going to try and fix something up, but I'll leave you guys with this for a second.
No worries. So yeah, obviously, guys, the C virus is absolutely decimating parts of the world. It's a terrible, terrible thing that the world's going for, and obviously the tech capital being China. Obviously, there's going to be some rolling effects now due to the C virus. So we were talking a little bit last week about how tech is going to be delayed this year coming out of China, which you're talking Apple iPhones, some of the biggest Samsung, all these major distributors for the world are now going to get affected, and it's going to affect the rest of the world. So because I can hear myself back.
Sorry, just
he's just checking the audio.
the audio sounds fun.
Yeah, that's all right. It's better. So so obviously with the C virus going in, shutting down a lot of the warehouses, a lot of the tech companies have all had to shut down work because they're all on homestay, on lockdown. Unfortunately, that now plays into the rest of the world, and then one of the biggest ones for us now, unfortunately, is that the GSMA has been now cancelled. So
I'm almost there, guys. Give me 1 second.
So it's I believe that the main thing was that I was reading into this GSMA were keen to continue. GSMA were really hoping that it wouldn't get in the way of things, but unfortunately, an event's only as good as its exhibitors, and the exhibitors are now pulling out. And then what's a show without exhibitors? So unfortunately, it's now starting to affect shows and exhibitions, which again, a congregation of people, exhibitors, all that sort of stuff. It's getting a bit scary, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, I've actually got the straw poll back up again, but it's directly from straw poll. So going back to the question, and let you guys answer this: what will be your next big upgrade to your PC and play next gen games in 2020? Before we do actually select, is there going to be any upgrades to your PC currently now? I've only just upgraded a few things at the moment.
Look, I think my next upgrade will probably, I'll be gunning for a CPU, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen my rigs. I'm currently running the 1950X Ryzen, so the first gen Ryzen. It's great, but I've got 128 gig of RAM. I've got a 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
I've got stupid amounts of storage now, so the CPU is sort of pretty much
more than enough. Yeah.
And I mean, the motherboard would come part and parcel with that.
Mm-hmm.
My monitors are good enough.
Yeah.
All my sound gear is good enough.
Yeah,
so that's pretty much it. So I think my PC setup is a beast now.
So we'll start with that. All right. We'll do it from here actually. So we'll do the one vote for them. What about yourself, Ricky? So if you had to upgrade anything for the 2020 next gen games, what would it be?
Yeah, I think so. I think Rowie commented on it perfectly before we started stream. I think it's my peripherals. Unfortunately, it's I've only just started into the streaming game, and I'm using the HyperX headphones, HyperX mic, and I'd love to upgrade that into some more quality mic and hearing.
I'm sorry to hear that. Metaphorically and physically.
As much as I love HyperX, obviously I'd like to get into the big boys soon. So I think definitely peripherals on the next upgrade for me. My computer, I just built that November of last year, so it's a beast. I'm loving it.
Yeah. All right, so we'll put peripherals in, which I've just added for you as well. So our current votes. So there's 6 votes for graphics cards. We've got 2 votes for CPU, 2 votes for motherboards, 2 votes for peripherals, 1 for monitor, and 1 vote, which is Rowie's, is his setup is a beast. So not needed so far. If I had to do any upgrades in the foreseeable future, it would most likely probably be my graphics card. Even though I'm running a 2080 Ti at the moment, but obviously as an influencer and as a reviewer, my next thing would be definitely obviously to see what next gen graphics cards will be released.
So I'm a bit of a controversial statement here. I didn't see that big a jump going from the 1080 Ti's to the 2080 Ti, but obviously I dropped back to one 1080 Ti for a while before I upgraded, and then I upgraded just because wank value. And I don't see the need for people to do it unless you're gaming in 4K. Obviously I do editing, so I sort of utilize it there a little bit, but as far as gaming goes, I don't see the need for it.
If you're still running Pascal though, you're not utilizing the DLSS, nor have you got ray tracing.
Yeah,
that's your main things.
Actually, look, in saying that, whacking on COD with the ray tracing does look pretty cool, but it's not something that I'd have turned on during like competitive play. It's only for the pretties.
Exactly right. Well, the performance difference we're looking at, obviously the next gen GPUs from NVIDIA alone. We won't talk about AMD yet. From NVIDIA alone, they're saying there's going to be at least a 60% difference 60% performance increase in ray tracing, and at least 50 on DLSS. Wow. So, and that's on their stock cards.
This is the problem with being an early adopter. Like the new thing comes out, like as I said, I've got the Ryzen, the first gen Ryzen. I was like, yeah, I need that. And now, like for the same price, you get.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, to be fair, it's like 2-3 years later, but it's like baller compared to what are you up to now for the consumer cards, like 64 cores
for the CPUs. Yeah, 64.
I've got 16. That's the 64 cores is a 3950X. So expensive though.
It is. Look, it is expensive, and if you have to go into something now, is Dropper working? It is, guys. Sorry, I didn't actually link that in the chat, which I'll do now. I'm so sorry. I should do it. So if you guys want to get your votes in for that, if you haven't already, there's something wrong with the website. Apparently the website's not accepting it, so I'll let that in. But there's going to be so many games coming out this year, particularly obviously with Cyberpunk, which we're unsure of what sort of specs is going to be used. Well, apparently it'll be a 2080 Ti. What's the GPU they've released? A 2070 or 2080? No, 2080 Ti. So 2080 Ti will have to at least run the game. It'll be.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Well, look, it'll be ridiculous. It will be ridiculous to release a GPU based around the actual game that cannot run the game. So we'll say that 2080 Ti, in perspectively, will be like other medium to minimum requirements to run Cyberpunk at its full potential, and then obviously next gen will give you that probably 30 or 40%.
I don't have any money to upgrade next gen though, man.
Well, look, it's going to come part and parcel regardless. So if you're looking at trying to grab what's going to be coming out next, look, when the 20 series come out, it was a big for myself. Having DLSS and having ray tracing was a big jump, but not enough to jump from a 1080 Ti going to, say, example for 2080.
In the wrong business,
if you had everything there wrong. But if you wanted to try out next gen gaming, you have no choice but to go.
As I mentioned though, the jump for rendering, because we're using a lot more plugins now that require GPU based rendering. The jump is significant, and once it was tweaked properly, the jump from the 1080 to the 2080 Ti phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
I render things like no tomorrow.
So how long is it taking to render one of our videos now, like compared to the 1080?
It's real time. It's literally real time. Like, even if I'm using like the software to cut out visual noise and stuff like that, it flies.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, the 16 cores have obviously always helped. But yeah, the 2080 Ti just flogs it.
And you're getting 100% usage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I leave like 20% untouched.
Yeah.
So like it'll flog like 80-85% CPU.
Yeah.
And the GPU sort of hovers around the same.
Yeah.
And I have 100 gig dedicated to Adobe software.
Okay.
So you do that within Adobe, you set it up. So
Yeah.
I leave 20 gig for the operating system.
Yeah.
And Google Chrome. And so Google Chrome wishes it was the other way around.
Oh, just so you guys understand, he's actually talking about RAM here. Yes, because you've got 128 gig of RAM.
Yes.
Yeah. So when he's talking about that many gigs, like a lot of people can say, well, maybe is it much? Why is he utilizing the SSD? So I'm like, no. Bro, he's actually got 128 gig of RAM on his editing rig.
Golf knows.
1 gig for the OS.
But yeah, I mean, everyone's always like, oh, you don't need that much RAM. I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
What about yourself, Ricky? So what's if you want to give a quick explanation to what your rig is like at the moment and what games you're currently playing and obviously the utilization you're using on your PC. So does it really require a major upgrade or is it pretty much just the peripherals like you said?
Yeah, I think, look, when I built it, the only thing that I did sort of skip out on was the GPU because I was sort of just, touching touching my feet into the streaming and gaming realm. So when I built it, I think I got the i7 9900K. I've got the Asus ROG motherboard. I've got the 32 gig of RAM. I've got the NZXT case and cooler, but I'm still running at 1070. But I've been playing a lot of DBD. I've been playing Hunt Showdown, playing some R6 with the boys as well, and that seems to run it fine.
It's still a solid card. Like it's not, for
exactly,
what you're using it for.
I haven't had any issues with it. I'm just looking here though. The Cyberpunk system requirements minimum is actually suggesting that you should have the CPU minimum is an Intel i7-8700K and a GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. So
that CPU is pretty standard though these days.
Yeah,
like 6-core
it's the
i7.
graphics card that's going to be a bit of a jump for everyone.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's just the GPU is might catch a few people off by surprise if that's the minimum specs they're suggesting to run, Cyberpunk, which the hype obviously train is insane. So look, I think if I was to start playing some games competitively and getting right into it, then definitely the GPU needs to be upgraded. But at the moment, everything seems to be running sweet, and it's, as I said, built it in November, and it was my first build, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's it.
But in saying that as well, with the minimum requirements for Cyberpunk, like a 2070 would do the job, and that's what a lot of people have gone.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
like it's sort
2070 Super. Yeah, exactly right.
And
exactly
like
right.
that'd run the game fine.
I just want to go through Jimmy's. Obviously, I know you answered here, but through Jimmy's question, I've been putting off an upgrade for a long time now. The GTX 970 and an i7 4790K are still managing to run everything on medium to high at 60 FPS, which is fine for 60 Hz monitors, but I think they need high. Yeah, look, you're definitely looking at the lower end of the spectrum now, obviously for what you currently got. The 4790K it's not a bad CPU. If I had to change anything, bar from people saying you get bottlenecks, your 970 now would probably be really sort of getting outdated to play any of the next-gen games, even on low, to be honest. So that will probably be looking at my next upgrade, or your next upgrade, I should say, in regard to the next, obviously next big jump. CPU, motherboard, look, once the 10th gen comes out, if Intel, even AMD at the moment, to be honest, you can obviously buy something even from Marketplace these days, for about $500-600 and at least get something sort of decent. Anything's going to be upgraded over the 4790K. And just you might be able to hit that sort of low end of the spectrum of these 6-core CPUs and obviously have motherboard, say a B450 motherboard from AMD. So you don't need that much money to get that big upgrade now. But if you had no concerns of say PCI 4.0 using the X570 or the new generation of Ryzen, you can still get a 2600 or a 2700X for, probably $300, $350 second hand.
Easy.
And, a couple $100 on a motherboard. And then there you go. You've actually, you've jumped like 4 generations.
And generally the people that have bought those that are selling them second hand don't really know what they're doing as far as overclocking and stuff like that.
Well, that's
either.
exactly
So
right.
You're
Yeah.
generally pretty safe with buying something like that.
Yeah, no, exactly. So good luck, Jimmy, with that. Yep, I think I'll be starting up the GPU motherboard. Yeah, exactly right. But like I said, you don't have to go obviously full Intel if you don't want to obviously spend a bit more money. But AMD so far, like we've got a 3700X machine here. Like it's been going at the moment, but when I had it here, I had no problems whatsoever.
They're kicking goals. They're absolutely kicking goals.
At the moment, they are. Yeah. And then also too, AMD's new graphics card, new Navi cards coming out.
Exactly, yeah.
So 2080 Ti performance, apparently they're already stating now. So we're just going to see what prices they're going to be coming out with. But when Nvidia released the third generation, 3000 series graphics cards, are they just going to jump them once again? And it's going to be another thing it's going to have a look at. It's like, AMD are going to come back with something comparable to the 2080 Ti, but when Nvidia released their 3000 series cards, it always just seems to decimate regardless of what they've got. So hopefully AMD do come out with something good and something well worth to actually, be up against Nvidia. Intel is coming up soon, so we'll be talking about that very, very soon. Just like to welcome a few people here. White Magic, how you going, buddy? On stage, I'll update when I can stream again. Okay. Well, let's do a refresh and see if there's any changes to here. Yes, we do. So we got two up. So 2 for graphics card, 2 CPU, 2 motherboard, 2 peripherals, 1 monitor, and still 1 beast.
2 votes for beast.
Well, I've got 1 here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't updated mine yet. I'm sorry.
Looks like graphics card is on everyone's list, that's for sure.
Yeah, GPU. So everyone in the chat here, are you all pretty much waiting for Nvidia and AMD to release their new cards? Is that going to be your next big step, or are you going to just wait until everyone literally just sells off their, Pascal series cards and, I'm just going to find something cheap? Because they usually come out just like lowballing as soon as the 3000 series comes out, or you get like a really hot, like I'll be honest, I actually sold my 1080 Ti about 3 days before
dropped.
And before that massive drop. Honestly, if I had waited 3 more days, I would have lost like $300-400.
Bloody
How
hell.
much did you get for it out of interest?
Oh, when I sold it,
Yeah.
I think I got, it was 1,300, I think it was.
Yeah, and then now they go for like 600-700.
Yeah.
Lucky.
If you're lucky,
If
exactly
you're
right.
lucky, exactly, yeah. No, I think it definitely, with the new cards coming out as well, it's just going to lower the prices of those 2070s and all those as well, which I'm looking forward to, is getting a cheaper sort of 2070 Super or something
You're
like
definitely
that.
You're definitely going to find something like that. And in all honesty, if you were looking at anything that you may not want to be upgrading later on for at least a couple of years, I'll just grab that extra couple $100 and just get a 2080 Ti. He said, you know what, I'm done for the next 2 years. I don't care what the next upgrade is going to be.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
spending that extra $200 or $300 and getting top performance out of the last generation, you're at least going to grab that, 1 or 2 years at least of upgradability for later on. Golf, yep. He's waiting for the 3000 series when it comes out. It'll be I'll be one of the guys probably offloading. Just can't see that.
The 1080 Ti.
The 1080 Ti, yeah. On stage, can you guys in the chat and social media stop talking because it's bouncing over me. I need a new monitor before even getting worth a GPU. So what sort of monitors have you got now, Joe? Let us know in the chat.
Swap the screens around.
It doesn't matter. It'll still flick it over, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. All right. So we'll go from that. So going back to our previous topic, which we'll go to here. So we've had some big controversial issues with the C virus going around, and obviously there's going to be big problems with that. In regarding to a lot of expos coming out in the next couple of months. There's been, we should say it right now, we've actually cancelled Computex, so we're not going to Computex this year.
Sad times.
Very sad times. We actually did have it all booked in, ready to go, but I've literally just cancelled the whole trip because, to be honest, for myself, I've got 3 young children. The last thing I want to do is risk that for an opportunity that may or not be well worth it for this year. So I'm going to be skipping Computex this year. Hopefully next year we'll have that opportunity again to go.
I've got 2 cats. I don't want to risk.
So yeah, unfortunately this year we'll be definitely missing Computex. But you never know. Maybe CES we'll be going to next year. Vegas, might be a good one But definitely Computex next year. If the C virus is all gone, done, finished, we'll definitely be going there.
I'm
But,
sure it will be by then. There's always a scare.
well, there's always something new anyway.
The scary thing for me, obviously, with reading about the C virus recently, as well as how it's still spreading. Obviously, it's just gone into Italy now, which is crazy to hear. But even the bigger companies are now taking their risks. And you can tell that there'd be some big money lost in these companies such as Amazon, Intel, and Nokia all pulling out. They've obviously done some risk versus reward sort of scenarios, and they've all decided that it's just not worth the risk, which is health and safety of your people first. And I think definitely that's the smartest thing when it comes to having children at home and stuff like that. It's just not worth the risk.
I agree.
It's just scary, and let's hope we get on top of it soon.
I agree. Cats are children.
Going back to here, so apparently Joe's got 24-inch, and I know what Golf has purchased. He's purchased one of like I've got. Andy, how you going, buddy?
I've only got a 9-inch.
Yeah, so he's got some cheap 27-inch 1080p 60 hertz shit boxes apparently, and a 24-inch one as well. So
sorry.
Yeah, Golf's got some amazing monitors. He's actually got the same monitors as I've got. Absolutely fantastic, and I really can. Yeah, look, the PG 279Qs are an absolutely fantastic monitor. So well done for that. Chillin', how about you? We're doing a show, buddy.
Yeah.
It's all about talking tech, and there's like 3 of us in here, so trying to control that at the same time. Chaos. So going to the next topic for tonight. So Intel confirms the new XE graphics cards launching late 2020 and be unveiled at the GDC 2020. That's if that doesn't get cancelled as well. Now, what I've heard about these graphics cards, there is going to be a few different versions of this as well. So going from the Ultra Mobile to gaming to workstation to cloud, and then moving up from there, obviously server-based. So you've got the LP, the HP, and the HPC. So more in consideration for you guys will be more the HP series, which will be, I think it's the LP series, going into the gaming side. So you got PC, mobile, and then gaming.
Be interesting to see how they implement the cloud-based stuff in Australia, though, with our terrible internet.
Oh, well, that's gonna
obviously it's an issue for me.
We'll probably never see that. Like that's something that's probably not even in coherence for what.
Can I do a quick flex? 250, 100 internet speed.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's why I'm running the.
He's fucking paying for it too.
I am paying for it. That's why I'm running the PC 419 server from my house, because it's quicker for Lee to transfer a file to the server at my house and then download it on another computer than it is for him to get like a USB drive.
100%. I've done it so many times. It's just copy and paste it over, walk in on the PC and it's downloaded again.
Here I am streaming off my 4G Telstra Wi-Fi as well.
Have you still got NBN issues?
I got NBN fixed. Thankfully, we had a technician come in and it was a problem with the node and all that sort of stuff, your classic issues. Corrosion in the copper lines going towards the node and stuff. So thankfully, the internet gods have come and fixed everything. So I had no issues for about a week now. But I mean, how long is that going to last? NBN.
Have you heard? I shared it on Facebook. You may have the satellite-based system that Elon Musk is.
Oh yeah, we actually spoke about that a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
We are definitely waiting for that. That's going to be one. There's going to be satellite dishes at every fucking house going around.
I'll staple one to my head. Let's go. Internet.
So they're predicting that they're capable speeds of 1 gigabits per second. So we'll have pretty much Google Fiber wirelessly going to each house. So I really cannot wait for that. And it's going to be pretty much the NBN fix. So all those billions of dollars that the government has spent with the NBN has literally just gone down to shit because of that. And Elon Musk is going to save Australia once again.
All
praise the Musk.
All praise the Musk. So hopefully that all goes through. I think it's like a couple of years. It says it's 2022 or 2023.
It's sooner than you'd think it would be because we're so used to horrible government not. And
I'm pretty sure I don't know how they're going to implement it. It'll be BYO, like a BYO satellite dish, and then you just connect up, or it'll be like we'll have ISPs here with dishes ready to go.
I think with the laws that we've got in place in Australia, I don't think internet companies can deal directly. Like there needs to be a competition. Otherwise, like it needs to be regulated. So I think that they'll probably do the same kind of ISP type deal.
Yeah.
But as you've already seen, if it's a pay for speed type deal, take my fucking money.
Oh, they're predicting it's going to be like $79 Australian for unlimited full 1 gigabit access. Like it's going to be ridiculous.
I'll have 4 connections.
I'm telling you now. How many times is he going to launch satellites into space within 1 year, the Australian population is going to pay for the entire network for his entire world.
Yeah,
But-
we'll make Elon Musk even richer than he already is. That's
if Foxtel don't get their way.
Well,
yeah.
Because they're like, oh, yeah, it's just satellite. And then the 4 people that actually use Foxtel will still be able to get their.
No,
their
I agree.
AFL.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well, I retweeted during the week. One of my mates, who's a fellow streamer, had just gone over to Japan to do some filming and some stuff over there, and he sent me a screenshot of his speed test, and he came back with 2 ping, a download of 680.72, and an upload of 706.99. I mean,
Ricky, when I was at Computex, right, my hotel guest network, not even like my room network, which was even faster, right? The guest network was 400 down, 150 up. So that's, if you're just next to the hotel and you want to connect to that, it's the guest network. The hotel room internally. The hotel room internally, right, was like 600 down and like 250 up. It was just ridiculous.
So 5G's getting there. Like my phone's 5G, and the 5G in like the good areas.
Yeah.
But that was like when 4G came out, 8 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was only, and now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So we can only expect 5G to start taking off.
Start taking off again. Exactly right. So Joe, apparently going back to his question with his monitors, I want to get some ultra wides, but I don't have the space for them at the moment. Well, hopefully soon it'll be good. Golf goes 5G is good. Is good area without a lot of box blocking the signal. Yeah, well, you got 5G here?
Yeah,
he does. Yeah. Oh, we're pretty close to the CBD. But we're off topic at the moment, so we'll go back to what we're talking about. So Intel's graphics card. So, what are your thoughts, guys, in the chat in this sort of spectrum we're looking at with the Intel GPUs? Would you just wait until you probably are going to break for all the influencers to get their graphics cards to actually see what performances are going to be like? But what do you think prior to that, Rick? What are your thoughts at the moment when Intel are going to obviously jump into it and come into the gaming market? Because we'll talk about the gaming market. Because nothing else really matters to us in that perspective.
Not really.
So
I think it's awesome. I mean, it's a big step. It's crazy. I think I'm worried that that's not their sole focus. I mean, obviously, when you're focusing on making it that this one architecture is, you can see the graph there, that it's it's so spread out that with their focus on gaming, is that going to lag because they're focused on PC mobile and workstations and all that sort of stuff. I mean, the card looks sexy. I like the look of the card. That looks really nice. But I'm just worried that
I think that's the lowest end card. I think it's the 100 watt. That's the 100 watt card.
I'm just worried that it's not focused enough for as a gamer or as a streamer. That it's their scope's way too wide, and that it's just going to miss the mark. Look, I'm not sure what they're I know they've had a few issues reading. They were talking about what their target audience is. So I think we say that a lot. I mean, who is their target audience? And I think they were Intel were coming out and doing a few press conferences saying, well, we don't really know what our target audience is either. So
we're just entering the market. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one of those things where we have no choice but to wait for the samples to come in to actually see what they're really like and what they're going to be, obviously up against Nvidia and AMD, because you're going to have that sort of like ladder where you're going to have Nvidia, AMD, then maybe Intel, or it's going to be Intel, AMD just jumping back and forward, or it's going to go Intel straight up against Nvidia. So,
well, I mean, as someone that's, I'll say, quite heavily involved in streamer tech. AMD still hasn't come to the party, and it may not necessarily be AMD. It's the programmers writing the software, and I think that is going to probably happen again, where people that make OBS are writing the software for NVIDIA. All the encoding is all NVENC based.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can get the plugins and whatnot. I think it's built into OBS now for the AMD stuff.
It is,
but it's still it's not there. It's not there.
But and in the chat, let me know as well if you guys are thinking the same thing after I say it. Is Intel going to jump NVIDIA, right? Due to the fact that they can co-write NVIDIA GPUs with the Intel CPUs to make them optimized at 100%.
Yeah.
Because you think about having the same GPU and the same CPU their performance is going to difference when they release their press release. They're going to say, all right, you've got an Intel CPU, say example, the new 9th, well, if it's 10th gen or 9th gen, say 900K with a 2080 Ti, you're getting this FPS, but with our Intel GPU, we can drop utilization on CPU and bring it up on GPU
what you're
and to
saying
increase that
is
20%.
Intel are going to rig it. They're going to have the monopoly.
Of course they are.
But I mean, what a lot of people don't realize as well is that running games at 1080p is so CPU reliant. It's not funny.
Yeah.
And until you jump up to 4K gaming, and that's when you really utilize the GPU over the CPU.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty even. It's going to still be CPU dependent, but the more and more people move to 4K monitors or even 1440p, which is like here in between.
Is a new standard. Well, that's probably the new standard now, to be honest. Anyone buying 1080p monitors today is only esports related, where they're obviously 24-inch or the one getting higher than that, with the highest FPS, highest refresh rate as you can get it. I'm still thinking now that Intel are still going to monopolize the market because they can utilize the Intel CPU with their graphics cards.
Tweak the link between them.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess definitely
and Intel chipset.
That's their prerogative. That is 100% their prerogative.
That's all it's going to be, and they're going to show performances that way. They're going to say, we can run Crysis on this, with no fucking problem. even though AMD can do it now without an issue. Obviously, if you actually seen that video where AMD they've actually run, they run a 3950X CPU only, no GPU.
Yeah, but at 1080.
I don't know what it was, to be honest.
Of course, it's at 1080.
Right.
So, excuse me.
I think definitely, it's just like, I guess, I'd say Apple, when Apple released a new phone, they released the new Apple AirPods. Sorry, everyone wants, you see everyone now walking around with the Apple AirPods because they've got the Apple phone. Much like you got an Intel CPU, do you want the Intel GPU? Because it's their market. They can sell it. They can say, you can use a Gigabyte or a Zeus card, but if you use our Intel GPU, then the synergy, I guess you could say, could be 10 times better. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly. All right. So, guys, what do you think in the chat? Let us know. Obviously, with Intel's releasing their new graphics cards, is it going to be something for you? Is it something you're going to wait and see what's going to happen? Do you think that Intel will jump the gun, as I mentioned before? And be honest, that's actually nothing from Intel directly. It's literally my thoughts on what I think of what's going to happen in regarding utilizing CPU and GPU together. But yeah, let us know in the chat and let us know what your thoughts are. Well, in the meantime there, we'll jump to the next topic. So this has been a bit of a sort of controversial topic, especially with the Asus cards now. So Asus obviously do make some great cards, but the issue they've had currently here, and I don't think it's just Asus at the same time, I think it's got a few other manufacturers involved, is that, fix this up, and thanks to OC3D on this as well. So Asus have had some issues with overheating problems. Now, what they've done indirectly, they've actually blamed AMD for this.
No, can't do that. You don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah, so apparently they blamed AMD for this on this mark here, and what they've said here is, where's my notes? You deleted my notes. Did you delete my notes?
I didn't touch them.
No, your notes are there, should be.
No, I can't see them. That's all right. I'll put it back. My notes were here. I actually had notes against it, and it was actually from the document.
Did you though?
I did.
Did you?
I was actually prepared for this.
You sure?
I was prepared for this.
I don't believe you.
So apparently, according to Asus, Asus has increased the mounting pressure. Actually, no, sorry. In their notes, Asus claims that the ROG Strix RX 5700 series cards were designed to conform with AMD's design standards, which claims that the GPU coolers should have used a mounting pressure of 30 to 40 psi, which I don't even know how they're actually reading it at psi, but they're reading it at psi, not torque, to ensure reliability after the extent of R&D testing. I don't know if you can actually read psi when you're talking a screw down, but I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be at a certain torque setting. Asus have found that this mounting pressure is too low for some of their graphics cards. Well,
can you just click the allow button there for me?
Hey, Blue, how you going, buddy? Thanks for joining in. So in this case, yeah, so ASUS have obviously had issues with overheating on the RX 700s, and now they're stating that the pressure on the screws that hold it down to the GPU aren't strong enough, or it's not torqued down enough, or according to OC3D, so the PSI is not high enough, which I don't understand that part. So the screws aren't torqued down enough. So ASUS are actually taking these cards back, giving you another one that's been fixed up, and then obviously releasing it back out again. Or what you can do is just do the fix yourself, is actually re-torquing down all the screws and getting a lot more contact down onto the GPU. This is a bit of I don't know about this. Like, it's been one of those things where it should have sort of been fixed from ASUS directly. I know they're blaming AMD, saying, "Oh yeah, AMD have given out this torque setting. This is what the torque setting should be at." But you think that ASUS would have grabbed the card, tested it, and it's like, "Oh shit, this card torque that this setting is getting 80 degrees, and this card here is getting 105." But AMD said 105 degrees is fine. So I think that what maybe the issue is on this part. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? Like, do you think that it should have been a bit more, pre-testing before this should have happened? Or?
I think they could have handled the PR a little bit better than just pointing fingers.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
But
what do you think, Rick?
Yeah, I think it's hard. I mean, ASUS are doing what they're just saying. Look, it's not our fault. They're just saying, due to short screws, the hardly squeezing by hand, the thick washers. I think they even said, obviously, is the issue. Look, it's exactly what Rowie said. It's biting the hand that feeds you. I think it's something that they should have sorted out, but behind closed doors. I mean, I don't think it should. I'm sure there should have been testing and everything done back in the factory. And I feel like we've spoken about this many a time on Tech Tuesday about them releasing things too early for the sake of the hype and having the release be as best as they possibly can be, but maybe leaving some extra testing and all that sort of stuff. I mean, to say that, look, our cards aren't working because they've provided you short screws. Come on.
Short screws will actually, apparently, according to the actual article, is the wrong settings or the wrong PSI settings. Yeah, should be torque settings, but the wrong torque settings.
The average consumer is not going to be like, oh, well, sorry, I didn't manage the PSI correctly. You know?
Yeah. Well, exactly right. Right.
So I think, it should have been, sorry, we didn't test our shit properly.
Exactly.
I agree there as well. I definitely agree there as well.
I think they should have just taken the efforts to go and look, we've apologised, we'll fix it. Here's the fix.
Yeah. Going to our next one for tonight. So GeForce Now has been released by NVIDIA. So if you guys don't know about this is actually cloud-based gaming. So you can have pretty much any sort of you can actually dual core, old crappy computer, laptop, whatever, and play everything at high and ultra using the GeForce Now. But unfortunately, until Elon Musk comes and rescues Australia, it is not available at the moment.
I'll be fine.
For the Australian market. So it's been released in the US, Canada, and a few other countries around, I think, Europe as well. Yep. So what this service actually does, you pay a subscription per month, and it gives you the option to obviously play any game that's available in the GeForce Now, and also I think it's your Steam library at the same time, to actually play games through cloud-based.
They did this before, though. They did this with the handheld, the Shields.
Yes, they did, yes.
So I guess it's just sort of...
No, it was actually in beta, so now it's full release. So it's been beta for about a year.
Yeah.
But now it's been a full release.
So, but this is for the computer one, because the other one was only for the handheld.
That's correct, yeah, that's correct.
And I gave it a go, and it worked pretty good, because I've got the little clamshell.
Oh, yeah, you got the old one, yeah.
Yeah, and it worked. If your internet's up to scratch, tell you right now, the Shield's not being used. It got used about 3 times.
Yeah.
And then it was just like,
So I use my Shield at home as my media player for my theatre room.
You've got the box.
The actual, it's like a little unit like that. Yeah, it's pretty tiny. But it's one of those things where, and I've actually tried it as well, even with my 100 down. It seemed to work. It was working okay, but not as great as you'd want to be. You'll need at least 200-300 down to get a stable connection properly. Yeah.
You reckon though? Because I mean, okay, so if you're playing at 1080 realistically, like for a good connection, obviously you're still running your controls back and forth. I'd say the ping's more important.
I think the minimum requirement is, I think it's 40 meg.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I think 30-40 meg.
Yeah, I was going to say 50 megabits a second would give you like spot
Let me see
on.
if I can actually grab it. It actually says it on here. If there's any
System requirements back up.
What's it? Here we go.
Oh no, yeah, there it is.
So let's
Yeah, I
have a
think
quick-
I've spoken to a few guys that I know, obviously based in Canada, and they've been trying out the Google Stadia, and they've seemed to have really good response times and service status on that.
Yeah.
And I think that if Nvidia can come to the forefront with that, I think there's definitely a market for it. I think you've seen the Google Stadia sales.
Yeah,
have
well, there you go.
increased.
Yeah, so 15 megs for 720, 60 for 60 FPS, 25 megs for 1080p at 60 FPS.
25 megabits per second, though. I mean, that's like that's pushing top end ADSL.
Yeah, it is.
ADSL 2 plus.
Yeah, ADSL 2
that's
plus.
like so. Yeah, like the 300 meg, I think is like well out of the.
Well, depending. Well, understand if you're using it as a cloud-based service and then, say, example, streaming at the same time, because you obviously want to have everything on that. I don't think our internet will be
Even
strong
then,
enough for
that's so upload based.
Or it's pretty much just or Nvidia hasn't released Australian servers yet. That's the only reasons why it hasn't been released.
Because I mean the upload for something like this, because you're not for this kind of service, you're not streaming video up to the service. It's only taking your input.
That's correct.
Which would be
minimal.
bugger all. So I'd say I mean cable would be able to do that, providing you're on DOCSIS 3 and
that's correct. Yeah,
but
that's
I mean look, it's becoming more and more of a reality, even for people with older technology as far as internet goes.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've done anything wrong with this as well. Like having, say, example, even if you travel a lot, if your laptop is example, just a basic laptop, or it's not a gaming laptop at all. If, say, example, no GPU, say if it's whatever it is, like a Surface Pro or an iPad or something, like you've got that option to actually get
some gaming done, boy.
It's 1080p, 60 FPS gaming. Obviously, you are paying for it, which is great as well. But like, at the end of the day, if you don't have that that option, I think it's like $5 a month for founders. I think it's what they said here. Pretty sure it's $5 a month for the founders. I remember
look, I've always been a big fan of the subscription model.
And how many games have you got available to you at the time as well?
I mean, we essentially rent our phones.
Yeah.
Most people. We don't rent movies anymore because we've got Netflix, which is again a subscription service.
Yeah.
Adobe subscription, everything's going
pretty much
Spotify. I'm not against it, because the second you don't want it or you can't afford it, it's bang. It's not. I outlaid thousands of dollars on all these games that I don't play anymore. It's like I pay $5 a month and I can play whatever I want.
And if you don't want to play anymore, if you finish gaming, at least you've got that option to
actually move on to the next game, and you didn't waste a heap of money.
Because we talk a lot about target audience, and I believe this hits the mark tenfold. The people
I agree.
that can't afford the PC rigs, can't afford the gaming, the massive gaming PCs, and don't have the money to outlay on all these games. This gives you, on a subscription base, all the access to the latest games. You're able to check them out. It brings more gamers into the forefront. That's a big tick from me.
The only thing I can see going wrong with it is when other brands jump into the market to try and compete, because you'll have your Netflix versus Hulu or versus Disney Plus, that sort of stuff. And you'll get game publishers that are wanting to do it for themselves with just their games, and they'll be charging just as much.
Correct.
And while I think competition's healthy, I think that sort of stuff sort of ends up mucking up the market for everybody.
But also too, there's obviously a few game publishers that actually pulled out of in GeForce now because of that. And also too, like even though you're getting $5 a month, so is every publisher getting money on the games that only played, or are they getting a cut from each subscription?
No, it'd be the same as like Spotify and Netflix. It'd be per game played.
They'll get a cut out of that.
Yeah, because I mean, if they were just doing subscription based, I could make a text based game, whack it on, and get a cut the same as.
Exactly.
So that wouldn't be fair. It'd be per game played.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm pretty confident Fortnite, even though it's a touchy subject, but I believe Fortnite are already looking into having
it's
their
a
own,
very touchy subject. I'm sorry.
Their own one. So,
sorry, how old are you? 12.
they're looking into it already. So I mean, that's only just one.
Well, I just saw Fortnite 2 being
base,
on that page. So Fortnite 2.
But they're looking to take it away from these Nvidia and Google Stadia and have their own sort of service where you can do it from whatever.
Well, I mean, they're already giving away free games. Like every month, I think. Like literally free. Like there's no subscription or anything. It's just like, hey, if you log in at this time, you get this game for free. I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate just recently, I believe.
Yeah. Going for our next topic for tonight. So Intel, some Guru 3D have actually grabbed something out from here. So there's been some leaks on 3D Mark specifications for the new i9. Was it the 10900K? So the base clock is at 3.7 gigahertz, but it's boosting up to almost 5.1 gigahertz out of the box. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a new thing coming out here, and I don't know how hot that's going to get, but obviously with 10 cores, it hasn't got a TDP watch settings here as well.
TDP of 0, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, that's really great. So so obviously from that side, now Intel releasing this at 5.1 gigahertz, still on 40 nanometer. I don't know. Like, it looks like they just grabbed one of their old Xeon processors and it's fuck out of it.
Repackaged it.
Repackaged it.
Like, yeah, we're still current. We're still relevant. Please buy
We're
our
still
shit.
pushing shit out. So I don't know too much that it's going to obviously regain the market over the current 900K. Is it people, or even the KS? Are people going to be jumping ship, to the new 10 series?
It's not enough to get me over.
I don't think it's enough to get me over. For that 100 megahertz, how much really getting more? I know you're getting 2 extra cores because it's being a 10 core, but to me, it just feels like they just grabbed an old Xeon processor and it's like, yep, reprinted it.
That's what they've always done. That
Can
is
you imagine,
literally what they've always done.
can you imagine someone's there, all right, we're going to, a million of these processors, and you got this person in the factory and said, okay, you're going to get this, this stuff here. It's going to wipe all the writing off this. We need to reprint all these CPUs back out again.
He's got a bottle of like nail polish remover and a new stamp. He's just like, there we go. There we go. He's just like one guy in the factory, in the back,
He's
in the
just like
corner.
rubbing it out.
Pile of CPUs everywhere.
Wiping stamp.
Yeah, I think for the price point as well. I mean, I can't imagine the price that they'll just slap on these, but for the price point, just to get that, that little jump, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be much worth it.
Yeah. It's going to be
AMD, baby.
well. Looking at some of the specs, looking at some of the specs we got here, which I'll probably go down to here to be honest, because we'll see about this one. So up to 10 core processors, up to 30 PCIe lane as high speed lanes. We've got up to 40 PCI 3.0 lanes. Actually, not even 4.0, they're still 3.0. Media display features. We've got integrated discrete Intel wireless AC, Intel Wi-Fi 6, enhanced core and memory overclock, integrated USB 3.2, Gen 2 2x1, 16 gigabits per support, Intel rapid storage technology, programmable Open FWSDK, and C10 and SOX supports.
But all I'm seeing there is, hey, all the old shit we've already done.
Pretty much,
Like,
yeah.
there's just nothing there that's, especially the PCIe 3.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of a sidestep rather than anything innovative.
I agree there. So obviously looking at the look, take this with a grain of salt as well. So the 10900K is a 10 core, 20 threads, 3.7 to 5.1 gigahertz boost. Max Turbo 3.0 is 5.2 gigahertz. All core boost is 4.8 gigahertz at 125
Okay,
watts
so
TDP.
realistically, there's not much difference between the 4.8 and the 4.5, and they're probably charging a couple $100 more for the K.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
right.
is there any point overclocking something that's already gonna go 5.2? Like,
Yeah, that's right.
and for the
Or
TDP
5.1, yeah.
difference, like you're almost half.
Yeah. I think the non-K versions primarily may even go, or I can more like go into the laptop. Being 6 to 5 watts, I don't think that's going to be any high-end desktop processor at any sort, or it will go into our small form factor machines where I've got the Intel NUCs might grab those as well. That'll be its mainstream.
Like
CPU
here are the straws, and here's Intel clasping.
exactly right. Exactly.
To be
right.
fair though, I had a Hades Canyon NUC and I loved it. I thought it was
it's a beast.
absolutely.
I was supposed to get one, but Intel promised me that the next generation NUCs that are going to be released is going to literally decimate your version. Well, they haven't released it yet, so you guys will once it gets released, I'll definitely be getting one at the studio. So I can't wait for that. but-
Intel gave me one. Just saying.
Well. And our last topic for the tech news for tonight is Logitech.
Ooh,
The new Street Cam.
Stream Cam.
Stream Cam.
Street Cam?
Stream Cam.
Stream. Is it Stream?
It's
Stream. Yeah, Logitech Stream Cam.
It's not going to the street, mate. It's not a lady of the night.
Apparently you can use it for the street, but yeah, in this case here, Logitech have released a new, we'll call it webcam because it is the webcam. Providing the webcams for C922, aka, but apparently this shoots in 4K. So
It's cheaper than the Brio though, isn't it?
yeah, I don't know if it's cheaper than the Brio. The Brio's what, $299 or $250?
I paid $450 for mine.
Well, you shouldn't have. I think I only paid $300. I should paid $300 for mine.
I got mine when it first came out. Again, early adopters.
Yeah,
I need it.
So we'll go for the for and against. Great picture, mounting options, excellent face tracking, and USB-C connectivity. Against expensive and short integrated cable.
I don't know with the way that, like, it obviously labels itself as a streamer's camera.
Yeah.
But in this day and age where streaming is becoming like very professional, if you don't have a video camera or a DSLR or a mirrorless camera or something like that, you've already fallen behind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the people that are buying webcams are still going to buy the C920 or the 922, the replacement for it, because they're cheap and you can't really build on perfection. Like, they perfected that camera.
The C922,
Yeah, as far as what is in that little box, they've perfected it. And this looks like it's the same thing in a new box.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think they're saying that obviously the C922 shoots 1080p at 30 FPS, and this one's got full 1080p at 60 FPS, which with that will become, bring a huge price point as well. And I mean, the thing they're saying is it's for the streamer, you know what I mean? That's where they're selling it. By putting that out there, does every streamer then want it? I mean, do your research. But for me, it looks like, as I think I was saying to you boys earlier as well, that it looks like a very decent camera, but just with a pretty unique sort of stand, I guess you could say.
Malibu Stacy's got a new hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, they're saying here, what's $80 will be $80 US, so converted to us about $120, $130.
I'd say probably more like 500 AU. But...
GST and obviously... Yeah, so about $80 US, so it's about 120 Australian, we'll say 130 Australian, add the GST and all the other bullshit that comes with it. So yeah, $430 is not bad. Not bad. That's not a bad price for a camera if it comes that price for us.
Roggy, I would say yes. Entry level streamers would. Lee and I were actually talking about this before, as far as the webcam and sizes and FPS goes. I'm an absolute flog when it comes to this sort of stuff, and I need the best of the best for absolutely no reason. So like, I'll run 4K 30 for when I do the like close up screens and stuff like that, but mostly it's 1080 60. But I guess people are getting more educated and they're realizing that, hey, I don't need a webcam that does this.
Well, that's the thing too. Exactly right. Like, as we were saying before, like, people that have, example, always full screen mode, in game full screen mode in the smallest little camera box on the left hand or right hand side, or wherever your camera box is, it doesn't need to be at 1080p. You can go 720, 60 FPS, and still get a really good quality, image quality. Because as you can see on the stream here, this doesn't need to be 1080p. Like, it doesn't. Like, you can just,
and it's not. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Like, you don't need it. You don't need it that big, regardless of it. So I don't understand. And people have that thing, that mindset where I need this picture to be 4K.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't need to be 4K.
No.
You know?
I mean, what we're running 1080 60 now.
Yeah.
And like I'm a bit of a purist, obviously doing video nearly every other day. Roggy, just so you know, I run a GH5 with some expensive glass on it, and then two GH4s, or one GH4, the other one's just sitting there doing nothing. A GH4 is like a B cam, and then I've actually got a Brio up above. And I couldn't use a webcam now as like
your main cam.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it, because like, it's not even about like, because 4K is 4K. I could draw 4 dots on a piece of paper and say it's 4K. Like, it's like, no, it's all about depth and processor. It's so much more behind just an expensive webcam.
Yeah, exactly.
A camera.
Well, I use a Brio for home. So when you guys actually, last week's stream was using the Brio with a key light right behind it. I don't mind that. I do not mind that as a webcam for myself, for my streams, like personal streams or gaming streams, or even talking tech for example. I don't see much of the effect. Like, me and Rick were talking about this before last week's show. If I didn't have to mention that I wasn't actually at the studio, how many people would have noticed
Yeah.
that I had the green screen behind me. Like, obviously, we can actually grab, you know, the fridge now. The fridge is actually really there this week, but yeah, you've just got to just depending on obviously sort of budget and where you're going with it, and also too, is it really worth what you're really doing? So,
Yeah, I
you know,
agree.
don't over expend what you're doing for your streams. But yeah, look, for $130 for a webcam for this sort of quality and performance, if it's good, obviously I haven't seen one yet. $130 is not out of budget. I think not, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think definitely, I think we've touched on this previously as well, that when you're starting off, I think there's a base level that you should be starting off at. You know, I believe, you know, when you're starting off as a streamer, you're getting into this, going out and buying a DSLR camera and setting all that up is probably out of your reach / a bit over, you know, a bit silly minded. You know, you're not sure
I
if you're
agree.
going to enjoy it and all that sort of stuff. So starting
right.
off on the 922s, and will this stream cam become the new 922s? I doubt it. I think everyone should, you know, would still probably start on the 922s. Maybe this could be the midpoint that you might jump up to in between the sort of the lower end Logitech into your DSLRs. And then look, if you become partnered, you become, you know, huge on Twitch and you're really enjoying it, then definitely looking at sort of say Rowie setup, which is incredible.
Well,
So
see, I'm lucky because I do all these other stuff on the side,
Yeah,
and then
exactly,
I'm
yeah.
able to just utilize all, like, you know, my massive mixer and my
That's
preamps
different.
and
Yeah,
mics and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly right.
So I jumped in with very high quality and very high expectations for everybody else.
I think
as well.
I think the difference between obviously what we do compared to what everyone else does,
exactly.
that's where you're sort of jumping into it. And like the only difference is if they have to drop the C9 to for example, to like $60-$70, it's definitely worth going to that as an entry level. But
I agree.
if you were looking at buying something newer, then obviously this stream cam at 1080p, you know, 60 FPS, for example, I would rather spend the extra bit of money and buy something newer, latter technology.
I think the main point is that just if you're going to stream, have a webcam. Just have
I
one.
agree.
Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's like the Razer Kaio or something like this. Just have a webcam.
Have something at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like even the Kaios, like I'm not a massive fan of them. I think they do 720, 60. And it was
Yeah.
like one of the first games. to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But it's after having a play with it, like we had one of the pre-release ones in Australia, and it was okay, but it's definitely more of a travel cam than it is.
The ring light's not too bad. Look, it actually does work in some
I would
occasions.
say I'm not, having done, you know, photography and videography and all that sort of stuff. I'm not a fan of straight on
Yeah,
lighting,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I always prefer the side and like the key
Soft
light
boxes
and
and all,
the
yeah,
fill light and the hair light and stuff like that. And like you've been on the receiving end of my pedanticness when it comes to lighting.
I'm telling you now, you guys have no idea how big
This light is so big.
Well, actually, I'll take a photo for Twitch, for Twitter, and I'll stand in front of it to see the size of this mammoth thing that we've got here, and then the actual lighting system in here. But actually,
Face before we started.
yeah. Well, talking about this as well. So we're looking at Ro and I will be looking at doing another. So if there's, we're not sure if it's going to be pre-recorded or it's going to be live. Where we're going to be having another talk show. It'll be more like PC support and also to just the back stuff that we do here at PC 419 Studio. Obviously, the editing side,
They can find it on
lighting,
OnlyFans.
the fucking issues we had with the videos and cameras and trying to get lighting correctly, audio, obviously audio correct as well.
People don't realize how different each camera is. You think like I know the GH5 back to front. You've seen the
Yeah, of
photos
course,
and
yeah,
videos
that's
I've
right,
gotten
that's
with it, and then I jump into another. Not like, oh, this is a prosumer video camera.
Yeah.
And like, where's the ISO setting? There's no. How do I make it brighter? And I've got to fuck
We're
with the
searching
gain and
for it,
shit.
and fucking,
It's like-
yeah, it's just, it was ridiculous. But look, we're looking at doing another show like that for you, so you guys can actually see what we do here at, you know, obviously in the PC 419 Studio,
Be a learning
and
adventure.
also too at, you know, Rowie's house as well, where he does all the edits. So a few things like that we'll be looking into, and it's something for more you guys to actually ask questions about your PCs, anything new you want to see about. And also to obviously upgrades you'll be looking at doing. So that's something we'll be definitely looking at in the future. So do stay tuned for that. But I don't know if we're going to actually have time to even get into the gaming section tonight because we've actually spoken so much about what we're doing here. But what we might do, Rick, we might leave them for next week.
Yeah, of course, mate.
'cause
No
that stuff there is not a problem at all. But what we will mention for this week is PC 419 Rainbow Six charity stream on Friday. It is the staff versus the R6 team.
It's gonna be amazing.
It's
gonna be a
gonna
really
be-
fun night. Look, it's gonna be staff, which is Deadluck, Steenie 13, Josh A, obviously Lee, and Dafsy on the staff team versus
Fucking team kills. Here we
R6
go.
team that I believe are playing right now, Lee.
Yes, they are.
It's Seraph, Ravenous, Campo, Daejeon, and Punisher. Look, it's all for a good cause, ladies and gentlemen. It's for charity. It's to support the Oceanic Esports Association, Bushfire Appeal,
Exactly
and all
right.
the funds raised on that night going to all the people affected by the fires.
That's
if you're not
correct.
from Australia and you're not sure of the fires, obviously Australia's ravaged
rock.
fires over the Christmas period, which destroyed homes, wildlife, stock, and we even lost some amazing volunteer firefighters and people in the community.
That's correct, yeah.
For an amazing cause, it's going to be casted by Jess Goats and Redcast, and will be live at 8 p.m. this Friday, the 28th of the 2nd. The games will be run under the ESL rules, which will be with mat bans, operator bans in the best of 3 rounds.
Well, I hope Deadlocks gets shot in the face.
There is no rules. I already said that already. Like actually, we did some training last week, and I literally headshotted Josh, which is my own team player, and I put a full clip into him because I didn't realise it's on my own team. So it's gonna be a fun night. So if you guys can, and all 4 great calls as well. So do stay tuned for that. And we've also got some prizes to give away for that night as well. So I'll be putting that on our social medias. I'll let you guys know what we're gonna be having. Some prizes for you guys to actually join into, and it's just for the viewers only. So it won't be obviously blasted. It'll be on all our social medias, but the prizes will be only for in-viewers watching the actual match itself. So do stay tuned for that. Once we get more information, I'll let you guys know on our social medias about that. But like I said, it is for the Bushfire Appeal, and I do appreciate, obviously, the R6 team taking time out to actually do this, and also the staff at the same time as well. Exactly. Not so much Deanie, because Deanie's obviously, is apparently, Deanie and Deadlocks are going to be our pro players on our team, and Daxie as well. So we should see about that. And Josh and I, obviously coming back from the CSGO background, we're just going to go in guns blazing. Yeah. Hope for the best.
Yeah, I think there's something that's going to end up being probably Staff versus R6 versus Lee. I'm seeing this every 3 teams on the night.
Everyone's been saying that on Discord. So it was pretty funny that night because one of the reasons why I don't play R6 when I actually first got released is it was giving me motion sickness playing the game, and I don't know if it was the FOV or the style gameplay, that side bullshit they've got going.
But you take your panties off and start playing properly? Or?
Yeah, well, last Friday was actually not too bad. So it was actually Friday we were playing. It was Friday, yeah. It wasn't too bad. I got a few kills in there, which was good. Including Josh. But yeah, it was pretty fun. So I really can't wait for this Friday, and I really do appreciate obviously Jess and Redcast obviously casting the match for us. So it's gonna be some fun. We'll jump into that at the same time, but we should soon see. But what we'll do tonight is we're gonna finish it up here. And I would like to thank once again Ricky for joining in as usual. And tonight, our special co-host, Rowie, the PC419 editor. Thank you very much for joining in as well. He was here anyway, so we might as well jumped into it. And I'd like to thank our sponsors, Cool Master and also Blue Designs, for sponsoring the show. Much appreciated. Have to get a few more sponsors in the next couple of weeks for the actually gives a bit more support for here. But like I said, we will take a photo of this massive light for our Twitter, so do stay tuned for that. But as we do every single week is we're going to rate someone. So who should we rate for tonight? Let us know in the chat. What do you guys think? What do you think, Rory? Who should we rate?
Rate me.
You weren't doing anything.
Yeah, I know.
Let's have a look. Who have we got here?
Summit 1G. Yeah, do him.
Who have we got? Let's see. Who's actually on?
Oh, PC419's on.
Oh, PC. Yeah, we should rate PC419.
Rate him.
Yeah.
My vote goes to Fannel Mark playing Dead by Daylight.
Sorry?
He said goes to someone
Mark
playing a dead game.
Funnel Mark, can you actually put his link in the chat? I'll do that.
Fellow Australian military vet, amazing guy.
There you go. I'll just copy and paste it, mate, so I'm going to grab it. I'll just go into it. One second. Go back. All right, just go here. So, guys, we're going to raid. Was it Funnel Mark?
Make sure you type /.
Yeah. Oh. Sure, so trade. Funnel Mark, go see him. Hit him a follow. As Ricky said, he is a fellow, was a veteran?
Yeah, he's an Aussie veteran.
Aussie vet like yourself.
In the army together.
There you go. Give him a warm welcome. Give him a follow as well. And I'd like to thank everyone for joining in for another show of Talking Tech. Hope you enjoyed it. And guys, stay tuned to our social media. join our social media, join our Discord channel as well. It's getting a bit more active than it usually is. And also, too, the PC419 website is up and running. The mobile site hasn't really done much, but the desktop site is running pretty well at the moment. Guys, thank you once again. Thank you, Rowie. Thank you, Ricky. And we'll see you guys next week on Talking Tech. Bye. They can still hear us.
Say